What's up, YouTubers? Back with another video, Zodiac Wars. Thanks for tuning in again. So today I want to talk about transcending astrological drama when it comes to being a judgmental sign. And, that stereotype, unfortunately, is kind of true. There are some signs that are more judgmental and less tolerant than other signs. And I want to address that today. Now, I'm an Aquarius, and Aquarians and other air signs like Gemini and Libra can be very judgmental because we are very mental, very intellectual. And with that mental and intellectual reasoning that overlaps, or I would say overrides our emotional thinking, our feelings, we use logic basically as the indicator of all decisions that we make. It may sound sound and it may sound, like a good attribute, but anything not used in moderation can become an extreme, and extremes are typically not healthy. So I want to talk about Aquarius, first of all, my sign. Aquarians can be very judgmental because they are self-proclaimed humanitarians. Now, we are known to be humanitarians because we do care about other people. A lot of Aquarius volunteer for several different organizations and even start their own charities. And they're very concerned about the well-being of the whole, not just themselves. Like our opposite, Scorpio, they are worried about themselves. Now, you would think that someone who puts themselves first and worries about themselves first and foremost is a narcissist, but in fact, that is not true. Putting yourself first and changing yourself first and improving yourself first actually is what improves the world. So I just want to make that very, very clear that caring about yourself is basically doing the world a huge favor. It really is, because the more you care about yourself, the more you have the capacity to care about others and love others, okay? So putting everyone first, like Aquarians do, and using logical reasoning to make decisions and not implementing enough emotions and feelings leads to imbalanced thinking and sound and sharp judgments of other people, situations, scenarios, and things. So since we're so logical, we think we have the right, like we're entitled to judge everything because we think about everything and overanalyze everything. And we could judge people too soon without really knowing them. We can judge a situation prematurely without taking the time to truly investigate it, because information comes at us so fast and lightning speed due to our planet Uranus and the planet of thought, electricity, technology. We don't take the time to really investigate what we're doing. It's kind of like this new 5G, high-speed, instant download internet that's coming out. Yeah, it seems like a great technology that's going to speed things up tremendously, but at what cost? What are the consequences of 5G? Okay, there's a higher cancer risk. There are other spiritual and other physical things that can happen. If this becomes widespread, there'll need to be a tower at every other house. It's kind of like we'll be living in a microwave, but we'll have super fast internet. Is it worth the exchange? Is it worth the cost of our health? So Aquarians, we really need to humble ourselves and stop thinking that we're the champion of humanitarianism in the world and that we can just make sound judgments because we're such good people. When an Aquarius can use their humanitarianism to the extent where it's like becoming a narcissist, because they use that to justify abusive behavior or putting down others or being highly critical of others. Okay, for example, an Aquarius sizing someone else up who doesn't volunteer or who doesn't appear to be as empathetic as the Aquarius, or who doesn't appear to be as charitable and giving as the Aquarius can really, really harshly judge these people when they just may not even have the means to do so, or they're really into self-preservation. So we really got to take a look at that deeply, Aquarians, and really sit back and close our mouths for a minute and just not be so quick to judge. Same thing with Libra, with them and their fancy little justice scale that they use to weigh out every thought. They think that they're the judge, the jury, and the executioner, and they can, if you do them wrong on their scale of whatever kind of scale that is, depending on how narcissistic the Libras are. Libras can be extremely narcissistic, but they can be extremely giving as well, and extremely generous as well. So it's kind of like a two-edged sword. You know, you can't it's either one or the other with Libras. Very extreme. So Libras, because they are air element and very mental, and they have that justice scale, they feel that they are the actual judge, like Judge Judy. Like they're actually a judge, and they can go around handing people out judgments and concluding others' personality, their intentions, their motivations. Libras can take it to a whole nother level. Geminis can as well, being the child of the zodiac. Children and teenagers think they know everything, but they don't know anything. And a Libra or a Gemini will be quick to tell somebody that they know something when they really don't know anything. And they'll argue with you until you can't take it anymore. No one can out-argue a Gemini or a Virgo. They will go on and on and on, and nothing will ever stop them, okay, until they win the argument. Most people it's kind of like playing Monopoly. The game is so long, you just say, fuck it. I'm just not going to play this anymore. I'm done. Whoever has the most money wins. But when you're arguing with a Gemini about something that they're trying to prove to you that they are right, because they just know, okay, and it could just all be bullshit theories and have nothing to do with facts. They just know what's right. I mean, Donald Trump, for an example. I don't judge Donald Trump harshly compared to other presidents. I think they're all the same, actually. The way that they say things may be a little bit different, but they all have the same agendas because they're ruled by an elite class, and that's never going to change. So, but anyways, enough with the puppeteer presidents. Geminis have no tact, like a child. They say whatever comes to their mind, and they judge harshly without thinking thoroughly about the consequences of what they say. They often say things that they don't mean. Okay, they say things below the belt. They hit below the belt verbally a lot, and they just come off as really critical, judgmental, and it's really, heartbreaking that air signs use their logic, and I'm one of them, to try to rationalize our judgment of other people. We feel like we're entitled to judge other people, and that's just that. My mother is a Gemini, and my father. Yeah, imagine that, right? I love them to pieces. They gave me the freedom to be the individual that I am, and I appreciate that. However, my mom is extremely critical to me and my sister, and that really did have an effect on us growing up, and I'm still trying to get over those side effects today of constantly hearing her voice in my ear being very critical. So you guys, Geminis, just please calm down, take a step back, and just realize that you don't have the right to judge other people, and that their experience and situations and life circumstances are there for a reason, and there's a entity that can judge that, and it's their life and their consequences, and we really have no right to be so quick to label people and put them down and then try to justify it using logic, because logic is not everything. Emotions and feelings, intuition, instincts, other things come into play when making these decisions, guys. So we really want to be careful about how we judge people. And even if we're not verbalizing the judgment, we could be sounding off the judgment in our head, which to me is even worse, because we're not even leaving it open for discussion. We're just concluding in our head and judging a person, place, or thing using logical reasoning. So in order to transcend that, if you are an air sign listening to this, if you have an air sun or air moon, I think Libra moons are probably the most judgmental moon signs in the zodiac. And they are judgmental because they have that that logical justice scale in their moon, and that causes a huge problem. They just feel so passionate about their judgments, you know. They feel so passionate and so justified in how they classify other people. You know, they want to control everything. Libra moon is very controlling and very judgmental. So in order to transcend these things, guys, you have to first accept that you're judgmental. You've probably been called judgmental and overly critical at least twice in your life, I'm guessing, if not more. But I'm willing to bet more. And you really got to take a look at that and sit back and say, how can I be more understanding, compassionate, and empathetic? And your mind is going to tell you that you already are, but you're really not, okay? Don't listen to it. You really just have to, before you feel yourself making a judgment, there's a meditation I like to do. Before I feel myself making a judgment on another person, I kind of say, what's motivating me to make this judgment? Do I know everything about this person? What entitles me to make this judgment? Can I give this person the benefit of a doubt? By all means, that does not mean you should take shit from anybody. I'm just saying that instead of saying, hey, Lisa is lazy and she doesn't take care of her kids, she's a terrible mother, you could say, hey, Lisa's kids are being neglected, but Lisa seems to have some issues. Lisa is having problems finding secure employment, stable housing, and Lisa's going through a very hard time, and that therefore is affecting her children and their livelihood. I wonder if I can see if there's any resources out there for her that'll help her. Instead of saying, hey, if you're in a heated argument and you're an air sign, Libra, Aquarius, or Gemini, instead of just attacking the person verbally, step back. Okay, what I like to do when I'm mad is just not talk at all. Because air signs, typically when we're mad and we start talking, whatever comes to our mind is like going to come out of our mouth immediately. We don't have that discipline that earth signs and water signs have when it comes to verbalizing our feelings. Okay, it just comes out like vomit. So if you're angry and you feel yourself about to sound off at the mouth and hurl out judgments and insults, say, hey, I need a few hours to think about this. I don't want to talk about this right now, or I need a couple days. And then come back when you're calm and you've thought about what you want to say. That's not judgmental. Because offering up solutions instead of calling somebody a thing, instead of calling somebody a bitch, saying, hey, I noticed that you're having a difficult time finding a job. I have a reference for you. Or did you know such and such was hiring? You don't have to say, hey, you're such a bitch, it's not my fault, you can't find a fucking job, maybe you're not looking enough. You know, we really have to be more aware of what we're saying, air signs, and more aware of how judgmental we are. So the meditation includes being quiet when you're angry, taking a few hours or a few days to come back, think, and then talk about whatever you're angry about with your partner, coworker, or friend, whatever the situation is. And asking yourself those critical questions, you know, am I making a sound judgment? Am I judging this person too fast? Why do I feel this way about this person? What is a more creative and productive way that I can say this to this person without insulting them or judging them? Okay, what is a more productive and positive way that I can say how I feel to this person who upset me without judging them or insulting them? Okay, think about that, because I'm all about recognizing my weaknesses and my strengths as an air sign and seeing how I can contribute that to my relationships with other signs and other elements, and how I can transcend that and overcome that and be the best Aquarius that I could possibly be. Okay? And that is my biggest contribution to humanity. All right, you guys. So let me know in the comments if you've experienced a judgmental air sign in your life, a Libra, Aquarius, or Gemini, how that went, and how that issue was resolved, if it's even resolved at all. Make sure you like the video and subscribe. Thanks, guys. Until next time.